Hello and welcome to another Blender bite-sized video. In this one I'm going to show you how to create a procedural soap bubble material in Blender 4. I'll give you a brief overview about the animation, but it's not core to the actual material, so I'll be doing that in a separate video. Here's a quick rundown of the specs that I'm using. So I'm using Blender 4.2, Windows 11, NVIDIA graphics card, Cycles render engine and a custom startup file. Just before I continue with the tutorial, let me remind you that you can grab this material and hundreds more on my Gumroad store, blenderbitesize.gumroad.com. Okay, so the core of this scene setup is my basic custom file, which I've got a separate video for, but I have got an object here which has got some particles applied to it using the settings that you see me show here. So I've got the emitter set with all of these different settings, and I'll scroll down so you can get a better idea if you want to set this up for yourself. But it's very quick and simple once you know how. You've just got to be spot on with these, otherwise things go all over the place. Feel free to pause or rewind if you need to follow along with those. I've also parented that with a circle and used the rotation of that circle to control the position of the particle emitter. I've also applied a collision physics settings to both the Suzanne monkey head and the room in which these are contained. Everything else is pretty much as you see it in my custom startup file. Anyway, let's get cracking on the material. Going over to the shading tab, enabling display render preview and enabling a new material. I'm going to delete the principled shader as we're going to use something different this time. I'm going to start by adding a glass shader and connecting that up to the surface. And then I'm going to change to Beckman because I'm using the Cycles render engine. You can use the others if you're not. Going to set the roughness to 0.05 and the index of refraction to 0.001. This is basically creating a very thin material. I'm going to add a noise texture here. Connect the factor from that to the color of the glass shader. Add a texture coordinate and mapping node by pressing Ctrl T while I've got the noise texture enabled, and making sure I'm using the object output from the texture coordinate. Then going to add a wave texture and connect the object output from the texture coordinate to that wave texture. Then I'm going to take that factor output and put it into the distortion of the noise texture. I'll set the noise texture as 4D because I want to use that W value to animate it. Then I'm setting a scale of 2, detail of 5, roughness of 0.005 and lacunarity of 0. And that kind of starts giving us what we want. For the wave texture, I'm going to use rings, set it to spherical, and saw, then set the scale as 5, distortion of 50, detail of 10, detail scale of 1, and roughness and phase as 0. And you can see it's kind of given us this like ringlet oil slick type pattern, but that's only in black and white. So I'm going to add a color ramp in here between the noise texture and the glass shader. I'm going to change to HSL and counterclockwise. Then I'm going to use a value of 1 on the first color stop with saturation of 1 and hue of 0.885, I think, or 85, whichever. On the second color stop, we're going for a hue of 0.83 and a saturation of 1. So pink to pink, but I'm going to change that to far. So you can see it kind of gives me this awesome rainbow effect. Color stop 1 I'm going to put as a position of 0.15, and the second one I'm going to put at 0.85, so it kind of crunches those colors into the middle. I'm going to drop the saturation down on both of these, I think, to about 0.65 to give me a softer color range, as it wouldn't be that intense on a soap bubble. But to control one aspect of it for all of it, I'm going to put a hue saturation value in, and I'm going to put saturation at 1.25, and again I'm going to go back and drop that saturation down to 0.5. So it seems counterintuitive to control the saturation after I've already set the saturation, but the hue saturation value is controlling all of the saturation for all of the colours. So I'm just lining things up here a bit to tidy it up before I move on. Again, not necessary. I just like doing it because I'm a neat freak. Okay, I'm going to grab all of those nodes and apply a frame by pressing Shift P, and then I'm going to call that pattern, as that's what's giving me the pattern. Make sense? Next up, I'm going to search for and apply a transparent BSDF node. So basically, as it is, it's just completely transparent. But our glass has the see-throughness and the colour, so we're going to apply a mix shader to combine the two. I'm also going to add a layer weight to add more control, because when you look at a soap bubble, it's not uniformly coloured. It depends on how the light is and your point of view. So I'm using the facing, so basically where it's black it'll be transparent, and where it's white it'll use the output from the glass shader. I'm going to add a second mix shader in between the two, and I'll connect up the glass shader to that as well. And I'll take a second layer weight node and use the Fresnel output this time. And this is going to accentuate the edges, or the outer edges, according to how you see this. I'll set the layer weight to 0.015 so you can see there the white values on the edges are very, very fine. And on that first layer weight I will drop it down to 0.3. So we can see there the colour is only really coming in around the edges, which is awesome. Maybe I should increase it a bit. It's a bit washed out at the moment. We'll go for that. Or maybe not. Make up your mind. I'll name that material so that I can use it again in the future if I need to. Now I'll just quickly press play on this just to make sure everything's working as it is. Now the way I had the particle system set up, it's using the material from the main object, so it will automatically apply those. As for the render settings, I will run down those now. It's quite low, it's quite high noise threshold and low max samples, but I'm using denoising to help me on this one to reduce the render time. Here's all the other settings. Feel free to pause it if you need to follow along. Just thought it's easier than trying to explain every single one. Then in the compositing node, I have got the denoise enabled, but I've also in the view layer settings got the denoising data enabled, as you see there. So I'm just connecting more up to the denoise node than normal, as it helps me avoid blurred regions on that soap bubble. I've also got despeckle as well. So let's run that through render it. And it came in around 12 seconds, and half of that was compositing. But you can see it's got that lovely sort of oil slicky, bubbly effect. Now, one thing I didn't mention was it was quite uniform as a shape, so I added some displacement to it using the modifier settings. And you can see here those settings that I used. It's just to really not make soap bubbles aren't perfectly spherical. They have a little bit of variation in the surface according to the wind and everything that's blowing on them. So anyway, here's a finished render of an animation that I created with it. I hope you like it, and I hope you will give it a go yourself. Obviously, you can animate the surface decoration with that W value if you want to. Please remember to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for future content. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave any questions and comments in the usual places. Bye for now.